Have you ever driven a truck and regretted it almost immediately? Almost every truck driver has experienced this. In today's video, we take a look at some of the worst trucks ever made from the 1960s. Number 1. International Harvester DC-0405. The International Harvester DC-0405, also known as the Emeryville, was a cab-over-engine COE semi-truck produced in the 1960s. It had a compact design meant to save space, but it caused significant problems for drivers. The engine was placed under the cab, causing heat and noise to seep into the cabin, which frustrated drivers even more. Maintenance was a headache because accessing the engine required tilting or removing the cab entirely. This added time and effort during repairs, making the truck unpopular among mechanics. The DC-0405 also had outdated suspension, which gave drivers a bumpy ride, especially on rough roads. This led to fatigue during long trips. Safety was another concern. The braking system lacked the reliability and performance of other trucks from the same era. Number 2. Mack H67. The Mack H67, introduced in the 1960s, was known for its boxy, cab-over design, which many drivers disliked. The truck had a high-profile design that made it stand out, but it also created significant problems. The cab was small and uncomfortable, offering little space for drivers to move around. It lacked proper insulation, making it noisy and hot during long hauls. Drivers also struggled with poor visibility from the cab, which made driving on busy highways more challenging. The truck's heavy weight and bulky frame affected its fuel efficiency, leading to higher operating costs. In an era when newer trucks offered smoother rides and better handling, the Mack H67 felt outdated. Number 3. White 4000. The White 4000 was a semi-truck introduced in the 1960s, designed to compete with popular models of its time. Unfortunately, it struggled with reliability and durability, making it a disappointment for many truckers. The truck was prone to mechanical breakdowns, particularly with its transmission and engine components. One of the biggest complaints about the White 4000 was its performance on long hauls. It had difficulty maintaining consistent power, especially when hauling heavy loads uphill. This made it less dependable compared to other trucks. Additionally, the suspension system was not well designed, resulting in a rough and uncomfortable ride for drivers. Number 4. Ford H-Series. The Ford H-Series, derived from the popular C-Series cab-over trucks, was introduced in the 1960s. While it aimed to improve hauling efficiency with its compact design, it quickly became unpopular due to several shortcomings. The cab-over-engine COE layout was a key issue. Drivers complained about the cramped cab, which offered little room for comfort during long trips. Heat and engine noise added to the discomfort, making it a tough choice for extended drives. Visibility was another problem. The truck's design restricted the driver's view of the road, which made highway driving more challenging. This led to complaints about safety, as drivers felt less confident behind the wheel. Additionally, the truck's suspension system was not well suited for rough roads, resulting in a bumpy and tiring ride. Number 5. Diamond T-Model 931. The Diamond T-Model 931 was known for its rugged build, but by the 1960s, it had become outdated compared to modern semi-trucks. Built with a heavy frame, it was durable and capable of carrying significant loads, but this came at the cost of efficiency. Its heavy weight reduced fuel economy, making it an expensive option for long-distance hauls. Performance-wise, the Model 931 wasn't well suited for high-speed highways. Its engine, though powerful for its time, struggled to keep up with newer, more advanced models. Braking systems also felt outdated, raising safety concerns during heavy loads or in emergency situations. Number 6. Freightliner FLC. The Freightliner FLC of the 1960s was one of the early models that helped establish Freightliner as a major truck manufacturer. However, this particular model faced several challenges that limited its popularity. Its design, while durable, lacked refinement, making it uncomfortable for drivers. The cab had minimal insulation, resulting in excessive engine noise and heat inside, which was exhausting during long trips. Fuel efficiency was another drawback. The heavy frame and less advanced engine technology made the FLC less economical compared to other trucks in the same category. The lack of modern safety features, such as better braking systems and improved visibility, further hurt its appeal. Number 7. Kenworth Bullnose. The Kenworth Bullnose was a cab-over-engine COE truck introduced in the 1960s. Its name came from its rounded front-end design, which aimed to maximize cargo space by shortening the truck's overall length. However, this design came with significant drawbacks. Long trips in the bullnose were tiring, as the seats lacked proper cushioning, and the cabin was not insulated against engine heat and noise. Performance-wise, the bullnose had limited power for hauling heavy loads, making it less versatile compared to other trucks of its time. The truck's handling was another issue. Its short wheelbase made it difficult to control at higher speeds, especially with heavy cargo. Drivers also found visibility to be poor due to the cab's design, which added to the challenge of operating the truck safely on busy roads. Number 8. Autocar DC-75. The Autocar DC-75 was a rugged semi-truck designed for heavy-duty use in the 1960s. While it was known for its durability, the DC-75 had several flaws that made it a less popular choice for long-haul trucking. Its heavy frame provided strength, but came at the cost of poor fuel efficiency, which increased operating costs. The outdated suspension system also resulted in a rough ride, making it uncomfortable for drivers on long journeys. Performance-wise, the DC-75's engine was reliable for short distances, but struggled with consistent power during long hauls. Its braking system, while sturdy, felt outdated compared to other trucks emerging in the same era. Maintenance was also challenging due to the truck's complex and heavy design, which required more effort and time for repairs. Have you ever faced any of these issues? If not, what other issues have you faced with any of these trucks? Leave a comment below. Number 9. Rio Model C900. The Rio Model C900 was a cab-over-engine COE truck produced during the 1960s. Designed to save space, it had a compact cab that allowed for more cargo capacity. However, this came at the expense of driver comfort. The cab was extremely small, leaving little room for movement, and drivers often complained about feeling cramped during long hauls. The truck's engine performance was another weak point. While it was capable of handling moderate loads, it struggled with heavier cargo, especially on uphill roads. This made it less reliable for long-distance or demanding routes. The suspension system of the C900 was outdated, resulting in a bumpy and uncomfortable ride. Drivers found the lack of insulation frustrating, as it failed to block engine noise and heat from the cabin. Number 10. Peterbilt 351. The Peterbilt 351 was a long-nose semi-truck introduced in the 1960s. Known for its rugged build and classic design, the 351 performed well in terms of durability, but had several flaws that limited its appeal. The truck lacked modern safety features, such as improved braking systems and enhanced visibility, which made it less reliable for long hauls. The cab design was basic, offering minimal comfort for drivers. Seats were stiff and not adjustable, and the cabin lacked proper insulation, exposing drivers to engine noise and heat. This made long trips particularly exhausting. Additionally, the suspension system didn't provide a smooth ride, adding to driver fatigue. Number 11. Kenworth K100. The Kenworth K100, a cab-over-engine COE truck, was introduced in the 1960s, but it had several issues that made it less popular compared to other trucks from the era. Although it was a tough and reliable truck, its cab design caused problems for drivers. The cab was cramped and uncomfortable for long trips, with little room to stretch or move. The lack of insulation made the ride noisy and hot, as the engine heat and sounds filtered into the cabin. Visibility was another major problem. The truck's short front end, common in cab-over-engine designs, created blind spots that made highway driving more dangerous. This issue was compounded by the truck's suspension system, which offered a rough ride, especially on uneven roads. Number 12. White 3000 Series. The White 3000 Series, produced in the 1960s, was a conventional truck that struggled to keep up with the demands of the trucking industry. Although built with strength in mind, the White 3000 was often criticized for its lack of comfort and efficiency. The cab, while spacious compared to other trucks of the time, was poorly insulated. This allowed engine noise and heat to invade the cabin, making long trips uncomfortable for drivers. Its performance was another issue. The truck's engine, while powerful enough for standard loads, was not well suited for hauling heavier cargo over long distances. This led to frequent breakdowns, especially on steep inclines or during long-haul trips. The suspension system didn't help either, as it resulted in a bumpy ride that contributed to driver fatigue. Number 13, Mack B61. The Mack B61 was a traditional semi-truck that gained popularity in the 1960s due to its rugged build. However, despite its sturdy reputation, the B61 was far from ideal for long-haul trucking. One of its main drawbacks was the limited comfort it offered to drivers. The cab was small and lacked proper insulation, allowing engine noise and heat to penetrate. This made long trips particularly uncomfortable and tiring. In terms of performance, the B61 struggled with fuel efficiency, making it an expensive option for trucking companies. While it was capable of handling heavy loads, its engine lacked the power and refinement found in newer models. The suspension system, while durable, provided a bumpy ride, which led to driver fatigue. The truck's safety features were also outdated. Its braking system was basic, which could be problematic during emergency situations or when carrying heavy loads. The overall design was functional, but not ideal for modern trucking needs. Number 14, GMC Crackerbox. The GMC Crackerbox was a cab-over-engine (COE) truck that gained some recognition in the 1960s for its unique design. However, its performance and comfort were significant drawbacks for many truckers. The Crackerbox had a compact design intended to save space, but this came at the cost of driver comfort. The cab was cramped, leaving little room to stretch or relax during long trips. The truck's handling was another issue. The suspension system was outdated, causing a rough ride on uneven roads. This added to driver fatigue, especially on long hauls. Its performance wasn't much better, as the engine lacked the power to handle heavier loads consistently. The Crackerbox also had limited visibility, which made driving on highways more challenging. The truck's small size meant that it wasn't as stable or safe at high speeds as other trucks from the era. Maintenance was another challenge, as the engine's placement required tilting the cab for repairs, making service times longer and more costly. Number 15, Autocar DC75T. The Autocar DC75T, a heavy-duty semi-truck from the 1960s, was built for tough industrial work. While it had a reputation for toughness, it was not suited for the long-haul trucking that dominated the industry at the time. The truck's design was utilitarian, focused more on function than comfort. The cab was small and uncomfortable for drivers, with limited space to move around. The lack of insulation from the engine made the cabin noisy and hot, which created a challenging environment for drivers over long trips. Performance-wise, the DC75T was powerful, but it was not efficient. The truck's fuel consumption was high, making it costly to operate on long-distance routes. Its outdated suspension system made the ride bumpy, and handling heavy loads on uneven roads proved to be difficult. Though the DC75T had some use in specialized industries, it could not compete with newer trucks that offered better comfort, performance, and efficiency. By the end of the 1960s, it had largely been replaced.